Hello and welcome to the Best Cards 4. This series takes one of the keywords in Magic and tries to give you a basis to start building your decks with some of the best cards for that particular keyword. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. Thanks for checking out the video, please subscribe, all that stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into today's Best Cards 4, Proliferate. The best part about Proliferate is that it's so versatile. Maybe you want to proliferate poison counters on your opponents. Maybe you want to do it to +1/+1 counters on your own creatures, making them bigger. Or experience counters on yourself. Maybe even stun counters on your opponents to keep them from being able to untap. Or time counters so you can keep a permanent on the field longer. There's so many different ways you can use Proliferate to help win you the game. So let's start off with something simple. How about Evolution Sage? A 3/2 creature that says when a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. You're always going to want to play lands, and ideally play one land on every turn, especially in the beginning, so that you're staying on par with your mana curve. Now you'll be able to get lots of triggers, and if you can play multiple lands at a turn, boom, you get even more. Let's say you want to be an aggressive deck and go for combat a lot. How about proliferating on combat damage? We've got Grateful Apparition, a 1/1 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, proliferate. And Park Heights Maverick, a 2/2, has Dethrone. When his creature attacks the player with the most life, or tied for the most life, put a counter on it. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and for the proliferate, when it deals combat damage to a player or when it dies, you proliferate. The fact that it has Dethrone allows you to put counters on it, so now you can even proliferate the counters on Park Heights Maverick. Flying on Grateful Apparition means that you're going to have a slightly better chance of actually getting through. Not many people have flying or reach to counteract it. So if you have flying, you've already got yourself a little bit of an edge. So now every time you connect with these creatures, increase the poison counters, increase the stun counters, increase your experience counters, whatever you need. How about just playing Magic in general? Flux Channeler, a 2/2 human wizard. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. And then enchantment, Exonerable Tide, whenever you cast a spell, proliferate. Also, let's toss in Karn's Bastion, a land that just taps for a colorless, but pay 4 and tap it and you can proliferate. Now, you can do that at least once a turn. If you have ways to untap Karn's Bastion, you can continue to do it multiple times. In that vein, let's just tap it. How about Conion Clasp and Contagion Engine? Clasp gets you a -1/-1 counter on target creature as it enters the battlefield. Pay 4, tap it, proliferate. The engine, same thing. Although the Contagion Clasp is a 2-drop, whereas Contagion Engine is a 6-drop. So you're going to need some mana rocks or at least some decent ramp to get the engine out. But they both do the same thing, allowing you to proliferate multiple times. And Contagion Engine says proliferate, then proliferate again, which is one of the reasons why it's more expensive in terms of mana cost. Also, Staff of Completion. This is great because it has a lot of different abilities on this artifact. They all cost life, but you get to do some really good stuff. Destroy target permanent you own, add 1 mana of any color, pay 3 life, the important one for this video, proliferate, and of course pay 4 life, draw a card, pay 5 to untap Staff of Completion. If you got yourself a life gain deck and a lot of mana, you can Staff of Completion a couple times to trigger it multiple times in a turn and up all those counters. How about making some sacrifices for that proliferate? Throne of Geth is an artifact that says tap it, sacrifice it, and proliferate. And finally, Cankerbloom, the 3/2 creature that says pay 1, sacrifice Cankerbloom, and you get to choose one. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or proliferate. This is really great because it's multifaceted. You can use it for what you need to up them counters, but in a pinch, if someone's got some enchantment that's locking you down, or an artifact that's gaining them a lot of something, you can destroy it. Also, you can take advantage of your own proliferates. How about Izuri's Stalker of Spheres? Whenever you proliferate, draw a card. He's a 3/3, and when he enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life, and if you do, you proliferate twice. So if you have enough mana to cast him, 4, plus the 3 when he enters the battlefield, you can proliferate twice and draw 2 cards. That's some pretty good value. And finally, what video about proliferate would be complete without the woman herself, Atraxa, Trader's Voice, a 4/4 flying vigilance death touch lifelink. If that was it, she would still be amazing. But at the beginning of your end step, proliferate. So now with an amazing creature on the field, you're getting at least 1 trigger of it at every end step. These are just a sample of some of the really great cards that are in Proliferate across the colors that allow you to build a deck however you want. What do you think should be added to this list? How would you build a Proliferate deck? Poison? Experience counters? Stun counters? What do you do? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.